The dead man rises just enough to hand me his own case file. Another death, another story waiting to be opened. Because every fear has a patient, and I keep their records.
The factory whistle always screamed at 6. Not rang, not called. It screamed. To Mira, that sound was no longer noise. It was a heartbeat, the pulse that ruled her days and her waiting. Every evening she stood by the window, thin hands gripping the wooden sill, watching the road dissolve into fog. This was how she knew when Arun would come home. Not by footsteps, not by warmth, but by the silence that followed the whistle. The town slept early. It always had. The factory worked the men until their shadows came home before they did. Smoke clung to the air so thick, even the stars looked tired. Inside the house, the air was heavy. Milk gone sour, rust from old pipes, and something else. Something Mira could no longer name. Once, this house had been loud. 5 children, 5 voices, arguments over toys, lullabies sung off key, feet pounding across the floor. Now the house listened instead. Mira waited. She always waited, because when the whistle cried and the fog swallowed the road, it meant another day had ended and another night was about to begin. Morning came without ceremony. No shouting, no crying, no small feet racing down the hall. Mira opened her eyes and waited for noise that never arrived. 5 beds stood in a row, neatly made, too neatly made. She told herself they were sleeping late. Children did that sometimes, but the air felt wrong. The house had learned how to hold its breath. In the kitchen, bowls sat untouched. Milk cooled in cups meant for smaller hands. Chairs waited where no one climbed into them. Mira called their names. No answer. Only the sound of the house settling, wood shrinking, walls listening. Some mornings, she found toys scattered across the floor. A wooden horse tipped on its side. A doll face down, hair tangled. But no child ever came to claim them. At first, she thought she saw movement, a shadow slipping behind a curtain, a shape darting just beyond the doorway. Each time she turned, it was gone. By the 3rd morning, Arun noticed. "You don't sleep," he told her. "You don't eat." His voice was careful, as if speaking too loudly might break her. "You see things that aren't there." Mira nodded, not because she agreed, but because it was easier than explaining. She did see things, just not the things he meant, because the house, it wasn't empty. It was forgetting, and Mira was the only one who remembered. It began at night. That was when the house spoke the clearest. Mira sat beside the cradle long after sleep should have come. Her eyes traced the wallpaper, vines, flowers, faded yellow from years of damp and smoke. Then it moved. The pattern pulsed, slowly, in time with her breath. No, not her breath. The walls were breathing. Brief pause. The vines stretched, curled, twisted into shapes that made her stomach tighten. Tiny hands pressed outward from beneath the paper. 5 of them, small, desperate, reaching. Mira didn't scream. She leaned closer, because she recognized them. Their laughter came through the pipes. Their footsteps ran across the attic, always just above her head. Mirrors fogged over on their own. Small handprints bloomed across the surface, then faded. Once, she found a tooth in the sugar jar. Another time, a lock of hair tangled in her pillow. Her mind whispered a word she didn't want to hear. Madness. But her heart answered louder. Memory? They weren't gone. They were just inside. The morning came and took everything with it. Mira woke to a stillness so complete it felt artificial. No breathing, no pipes, no walls whispering. She turned her head. 5 beds, all empty. Not slept in empty, not messy. Gone. The sheets were cold, the pillows unmarked, as if no one had ever been there at all. The toys were gone, the clothes were gone, the tiny shoes by the door. Gone. Only one thing remained. Brief pause, the smell. Iron. Sweet. Heavy in the air. Mira sat at the table, and she hummed. A broken tune. A lullaby with missing notes. When the factory whistle cried that evening, she didn't look up. She already knew. Aaron stood in the doorway, breathless. His eyes moved too fast, counting what wasn't there. "The children are gone?" Mira looked up and smiled. "No," she whispered. "They're here now." Brief pause. "They don't cry anymore." Aaron searched the house, every room, every corner. He shouted their names until his voice broke. Nothing answered him, nothing except the walls, drawings, dozens of them, taped to every surface, kitchen, hallway, bedroom doors, crayon drawings, childish, unsteady. In every one, Mira stood at the center. Her body was dark, solid, drawn in heavy black lines, and around her, 5 shapes, faint, smudged, their outlines dissolving into her chest. Aaron turned slowly. Mira stood behind him, still, watching. "What did you do?" Mira tilted her head. Her eyes were wide, empty. "I kept them safe," she said. "I was so lonely, Aaron. The world outside wanted to take them." Her voice cracked, soft, pleading. "I couldn't let that happen. So I brought them back inside me, where they belong." She smiled, not with joy, with relief. That night, Arun fled. He didn't pack. He didn't look back. He ran until the factory smoke disappeared behind him. When he returned the next morning, he did not come alone. A doctor, neighbors, people who had whispered about the house for years. The table was overturned, and the walls. Brief pause. Every inch of them was covered. Fresh drawings, hundreds, all the same. In the center of the kitchen wall was the last one. A woman stood alone, arms open wide. Her body was hollowed out. Inside the emptiness, 5 small faces, smiling faintly, eyes closed. Mira was gone. No footprints, no trace, just the drawings and the house. The neighbors said it was cursed. Aaron never lived there again. But some evenings, when the whistle blows at 6, workers say they see a woman standing at the old kitchen window, rocking gently, whispering lullabies to something that isn't there.